In this Hyperliquid Airdrop tutorial, I'm going to give you a step-by-step full beginner's guide of how you can farm the upcoming Hype Airdrop. So firstly, what is airdrop farming? How do we receive these massive airdrops that we see people talking about time and time again in crypto? So essentially, you just need to be all over the ecosystem. You need to be everywhere in the ecosystem. You can think of it like a digital footprint. You need your digital footprint to be all over Hyper EVM and Hypercore and just the Hyperliquid ecosystem in general. So that means being very active amongst the ecosystem, doing lots of different things. So I'm going to show you all of the top protocols and all of the things that you should be doing on them in order to qualify for the Hyperliquid Airdrop in 2025. So firstly, of course, you're going to need a wallet and you're going to need some funds in your wallet. And the more funds that we have, the more funds that we push through these different protocols, the more volume that we're pushing through the protocols, the more money we're going to earn in the airdrop. It's all about just having a digital footprint, pushing lots of volume through the ecosystem. But we don't necessarily have to do lots of volume. If you don't have a large amount of funds, that doesn't matter. Just you need to be spread throughout the ecosystem. The more spread you are across the ecosystem, the more protocols you're interacting with, the more points you're going to earn, which means the bigger the airdrop you're going to earn. And also some of these protocols will come out with their own tokens and you will potentially receive airdrops from those as well. So you have funds in your wallet. You want to then deploy those into Hyperliquid. So we can do this a few ways. The first way is we need to have USDC on Arbitrum. So to do that, you can use something like dBridge. Simply select whatever chain you have the funds on, and then you want to select Arbitrum. Or from here, you could actually directly send them into Hyperliquid or Hyper EVM. I recommend doing both. Firstly, we're going to be talking about Hyperliquid. So once you have your funds on Hyperliquid, you will have USDC balance. So once you have funds on Hyperliquid, what we need to be doing is we need to be pushing volume through it. So if you take a look at my portfolio, you can see in the past 14 days, I've done $25,000 in volume, which is really nothing. I've not actually been very active on Hyperliquid exchange recently, but this is very easy to increase this number. So I'm going to show you what you need to do. So firstly, you need to be placing trades. You need to be placing perp trades and spot trades. So perps is your leverage trading. That means longing and shorting a bunch of these different currencies under perps. Secondly, what you're going to do is you're going to want to put a lot of volume through spot. Now, this is very easy because you can simply buy a coin. You can place the order, buy the coin, and then you can just sell the coin instantly. And you can just rinse and repeat and do this multiple times to increase your volume. So that is one way you can do it. And you can do the same for perps trading as well. But I'd recommend keeping a few positions open and accumulating funding, right? Accumulating the funding fees. So that's the first thing that you want to do. The second thing that you want to do is you want to head over to the vaults and you want to deposit into the HLP, the Hyper Liquidity Provider Vault. Okay, I'm not going to tell you amounts that you need to do on this video. It's all down to you. But, you know, if you're trading with, let's say, 1,000 hype, maybe you can put 100 into the HLP. So that's what you want to do. Next, you then want to stake. So you want to stake your hype. So you can see I've got 17 hype staked and I'm in two different validators. I'm in the Nansen validator and I'm also in this one. And the reason I'm in this one is because Nansen are also offering points. So this is like a double whammy. This is a 2-in-1. I'm going to earn hype points and I'm also going to earn Nansen points. So I like the Nansen Hyper Collective Validator. So deposit your hype in there. To do that, it's very simple. You click this button up here, Spot Staking Balance Transfer, and you transfer from your spot balance to your staking balance. Once you've done that, you then click Stake Tokens, enter in the amount that you'd like to stake, and select the different validator. And select the validator. Then click Stake. Now you've successfully staked your hype. Now that's everything that we want to do on the Hyperliquid exchange. I will leave a link to the Hyperliquid exchange in the description below. I will leave all links to everything down there. And they will be referral links, but they will also give you points on the different websites. So don't be that guy that removes a referral link at the end and just uses the website with no referral, because you'll actually be missing out on points. So it's better if you do so. And it also helps me out for providing this value to you. So it's a win-win for us both. Anyway, continuing on, that's everything that you need to be doing on Hyperliquid. Perps trading, spot buying and selling, and staking. And also in the vault, the HLP vault. Next, we need to bridge funds over to Hyper EVM. So there's two ways we can do that. If we have funds on Hyperliquid, what we can do is we can click this transfer to/from EVM button. So if we click this, we can transfer our Hype or whatever token from the Hyperliquid exchange to the EVM, which is essentially Hyperliquid's new layer 1. This is where we're going to be doing all of the airdrop farming. So Hyperliquid's new layer 1, Hyper EVM, is essentially their Ethereum, right? So they have Hyperliquid exchange, and then they also have Hyper EVM. And Hyper EVM is their version of Ethereum. It's their blockchain that we can do DeFi on. So we have this for all of the perps trading and the spot buying and vaults and such. And then we have Hyper EVM for all of our DeFi, stablecoins, bridging, and DeFi applications. So to do this, we're going to use Hyperswap. Now we're going to use Hyperswap Bridge, and we're going to bridge across from Hyperliquid to Hyper EVM. Okay, so you just click Hyperliquid and then bridge over. You can see I have 24 Hype currently sat on the EVM, and then you can see on Hyperliquid I have 1.8. Okay, so they're two different things. So on here, we're going to do multiple different things. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use this as our main DEX, and we're going to start pushing some volume through here. So we could simply swap this 24 Hype for USDC or USDT even. Confirm the transaction. That failed. So now once we're here, we're going to want to push some volume through the DEX. So you can see we've just swapped 24 Hype for USDT. And now we can simply swap it back to Hype. Now I'd recommend you do actual trading, like actually buy and sell different tokens, of course. But if you transfer large amounts of funds over, you can do this a few times and quickly put through a lot of volume. So I'm just showing you a small example here of just $900, but you could easily do this with a lot more money and generate a lot of volume very quickly. So now you can see we've got our 24 Hype back. So we've literally just done $1,800 worth of volume in just a couple of seconds. Of course, if you're doing this with more money, you'd be doing a lot more volume than that. And you want to aim for maybe 6 figures worth of volume. So about 100,000. Just do multiple trades. It won't be too hard to hit that. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to explore the pools. So we can click on explore. And these are all the different liquidity pools that we can enter. So if you click on, if I show you mine, view positions, you can see I'm in a whole range of different liquidity pools, and you can just pause the video now and you can copy me on some of these, whichever ones you want to get into. But essentially all we're doing is we're going into explore, keep it on all, and search for whatever pool you want to go into. This is Felix USD. Felix USD, USD Hyperliquid, USD HL, and we can see the TVL, and then we can just click add liquidity. And then what we do is we click continue, leave it on the preset ranges. That's what I always do. You can play around with that if you are experienced. Then click continue, leave it on dual token mode, and simply click max, whatever your balance is, or would have to do it like that. Then click add, sign, and now we've just gone into that liquidity pool. So now if we go on pools and we go view positions, you can see this was the liquidity pool that we just went into, right? So you want to have multiple liquidity positions because this is going to earn you points. So each pool that you're in is going to earn you multiple points, and every Sunday they will update the points, so you will see your increased points. So every Sunday this will be increased. And you can also see they had this beta period where you could do a bunch of these different tasks and earn points. They will likely do another round of that, I assume. But you need to be quick. You need to act fast because Hyperswap, they have their own token coming out, so they will have their own airdrop, and that is going to be massive as this is the native DEX for Hyper EVM. And I believe that ends next month. So you need to be quick doing this. So that's what you need to do. You need to bridge with Hyperswap and start trading, putting volume through, and go into the liquidity pools. Now, if you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Filecoin, you can also bridge through using Unit. So you can bridge your Bitcoin. You simply click these two buttons, click continue, send Bitcoin to this address, send at least 0.002. And once you've done that, that will then be on Hyperliquid. You can see Bitcoin here. From here, you can then transfer to and from the EVM to have those currencies on Hyper EVM. Next, we're going to get some staked hype. So to do that, we're going to use Hyperbeat. Now, again, links will be in the description to this video. If you use the links, they will give you a bonus. So enter in the amount that you'd like to stake. Let's say 50 hype. Then you'll receive 50 staked hype. Click stake, then that's all you have to do. Now, what you can also do is click on earn, and you can go into some of these vaults. So I recommend going into the Hyperbeat Ultra Hype vault. You can see I've deposited some money in there, and I also deposited some U Bitcoin, but that's up to you. But I'd recommend going into this one, Hyperbeat Ultra Hype, 6% APY. You basically want to be doing everything on the different protocols. So you want to be borrowing as well. So you want to borrow, you want to stake, and you want to earn in the vaults. So you want to do all different things across the protocols. The more things you do in these protocols, the more points you're going to earn, the more money you're going to make. Okay, so the next one is Hyperfi. Now on Hyperfi, you can see you've got $430 in here. You can see I've got a bunch of different things going on. So you can see I've deposited some stake type, I've deposited some Bitcoin, and I'm borrowing some hype, and I'm also borrowing some of this stable coin. So I'm doing all sorts of actions. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be doing all these different actions as well. You click on where to earn, and you can see a whole list of different things you can be doing on Hyperfi. All of these different things you can be doing, and that's going to earn you a multiplier, which is going to increase your points. So look at all these different things: deposit hype, borrow Bitcoin, borrow Ethereum, isolated supply of this stable coin, borrow, deposit. All of these different things you need to be doing. So the easiest way to do that is quick borrow. So deposit, I could just deposit some of this, and then you can borrow this one. Let's say I want to borrow $1. Continue, approve, deposit, and then borrow. Done. So I deposited $10 of collateral, and I'm borrowing $1. That's just a quick, simple example of how you can do it. Okay. So now you can see, if I go on my dashboard, I've now deposited all these assets as collateral, and I'm borrowing these, right? And so to do that, you click on the dashboard. Now you can deposit in hype. You can deposit in stake type, which you just got. You just got some stake type from Hyperbeat. So deposit that. Deposit some hype. You don't have to bother with a Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can do that if you want to. Felix USD as well. We'll get onto that. And then these are all the assets you can borrow. So first you need to deposit, have some collateral. Then you need to borrow. And how much you do is depending on you. I like to just keep this around the conservative level, right? I don't like to go too crazy. I don't like to go up here. Just keep it around this level. Next, kitten swap. So again, just like we got liquidity on Hyperswap with all of our different pools, all of these, you also want to do the same on kitten swap. So again, it's the same thing. You can just go to pools. You can search for a pool, and you just click add liquidity. Now, I don't worry about the APRs. I'm not really doing this to earn money. I'm doing it to build my digital footprint. I'm doing it to get points across all these different protocols because that's what's going to earn me the most money. So it doesn't really matter about the APRs too much. Next, you'd click on preset ranges. I like to just go full range. Customize this if you want. You can see earns points. That's what you want to look for, earns points. And then you just click approve, and then you'll be in that liquidity pool. So yeah, that's another thing you can do. You can build up some LP positions on there. Next is Valentis. So Valentis is another one that's really cool because they earn 2 times Hyperfi points. So we were just talking about Hyperfi on here. Well, you can double your points by being in Valentis. So simply for this one, all you need to do is deposit stake type. So deposit You type in hype, how much hype you want to deposit. I just did a 1.5. Click preview, deposit, done. That's all you need to do on this one. Stake type, done. Next, Hyperlend. Hyperlend, again, just do all the different things they've got on here. So you can go into the vault. You can see I just provided some liquidity in the WHLP USDHL. I'll show you how to do that. Very easy to do. Simply click continue. Leave it on the preset range. Click continue again. And then you click that. And then you'd go ahead and do it. I don't have enough USDHL, but if I did, I'd be able to make that position. So very easy. Right, so on Hyperlend, we want to supply some hype, and you can also supply some wrapped stake type if you like as well. So just click supply on both of those. And then you can also borrow. So to borrow, you can select any of these assets, and then you can borrow. See, I've already borrowed some hype. And yeah, very easy to do. Supply, click borrow, borrow. Now we can also use harmonics. So this is a great one because they allow you to farm multiple different protocols. So if we look at their vaults under earn, you can see this Hyper EVM Hype Vault that's coming soon allows you to get 3 times harmonics rewards, Hyperlend rewards, Felix rewards, Hyperfi rewards, and Hypercore. So that's insane. So I'm definitely going to be going into that once that launches. Estimated 8 to 10% APY. Next is Felix. So again, we're going to want to do everything that we can on here. We're going to want to deposit some USDT0, deposit some hype, and yeah, just deposit whatever you want on here. And then also what I've done is I'm in the USDHL. So I've gone into the USDHL lending, which earns me APY, of course. And I'm just building my digital footprint. I'm just placing myself everywhere across all these different protocols, and that's how you want to be doing it. Next is Drip Trade. So this is a place. So this is an NFT marketplace. So you can search for a bunch of different NFTs on here. Currently, I'm just in the Hypers collection, but you can click on collections. And Wealthio, Hypio Babies, they seem to be the top one at the moment. So you can scroll down on here, find some NFTs that you like, grab a bunch. That also helps. And then also HL names. So this is ENS names for Hyperliquid. So it's just DNS names. I've got an auction at the moment going for this one. Hopefully I win that. And that means that'll be my domain name. I'll own that name. So when I transact on the blockchain, I can put myself as this name. And you can see I've already got a few of these. I've grabbed my own name. I managed to get Hashbulla, and I got Chrono last night. So grab a few names. That will definitely help. Liquid Swap. Again, another DEX that you can use. And I recommend buying some Liquid D token because I think it's a good investment personally. Liquid D's been doing very, very well. They've got Liquid Swap and they've got Liquid Launch, which are both very prominent in the Hyper EVM ecosystem. So Liquid D, the reason I think it's a good investment is because not only their products, but the way that they've distributed the funds and the rewards to their users. They are distributing 100% of the protocol rewards to stakers, which is absolutely insane. So I recommend buying some Liquid D and staking it. I wanted to grab a bunch of this the other day when the market dipped, but I just wasn't able to. So yeah, I'll probably be increasing this stake definitely at some point in the near future. But this is a great one, I think. You can see the tokens done very, very well. Reached over 120 mil almost. And yeah, I think that's a good one. Another one is Upshift. So you want to be in Upshift. Upshift will give you some nice rewards. You can see 330 million has been deposited. All of these protocols, by the way, they're all established. They're all good protocols to get involved with. So you can stake on here. You can earn 5 times Upshift points on all deposits until they reach 750 mil TVL. So you need to act fast on this video. I hope if you're watching this video, you're actually doing it at the same time as me talking about it. So you can see that there. So you're almost halfway to the cap. So you want to get involved with this. Referrals, they have that as well. A lot of these do. Deposits, so you can deposit in all these different pools. And I recommend going into the Hype Beat Ultra Hype. I talked about that earlier. And yes, you can see my positions. I'm in this one. and I'm also in the Bitcoin one. So I'm in both of those. So get involved in that. Harmonics we already talked about. Liminal money, this is another great one. So liminal money allows you to go into delta neutral positions and basically just farm the funding rate. So this is how much I deposited. The balance just fluctuates up and down, but very minimally. And I'm just farming the funding rate because I'm long hype. So the strategy by liminal is to long hype and also short hype. So I'm long and short, and I'm just farming the funding rate, earning nice bit of profit as I go along. Another one is loop type. So you can click get loop type and then get your loop type. Very simple. 50 mil TVL. Once you've got loop type, what I then recommend you do is you go over to the pools, you view positions, and you can see I'm in L hype. So add liquidity to L hype. I'd recommend doing so. I'd recommend going into all of these, to be honest, but it's up to you. There's better ones out there as well you can be in. Genesee is another one. So Genesee is a game kind of Ponzi almost, where you can buy like land, buy like a chip, and that will earn you money. So I bought this one and I bought this one, and you can see I'm earning rewards. And the reason why I like this is because you can buy this for extremely cheap. You can buy this for like one Genesee token, which was less than $1. And what it's going to do is it's going to farm you points. You're going to be transacting with this on a daily basis. So it's constant Hyper EVM transactions. And the more transactions that you're doing in the Hyperliquid ecosystem, the Hyper EVM ecosystem, the more you're on chain, the more digital footprint that you've got on chain, the more actions that you're doing across the whole chain, the more airdrops you will receive. That's how it works. That is how the early Ethereum guys made millions of dollars, because they were early to the Ethereum chain doing all sorts of different things. That is why Uniswap, people that were using Uniswap early got very rich, because they were using Uniswap. They were adding to the liquidity. They were doing swaps. So they got very rich when the Uni token came out. That is the same thing happening right now with Hyperliquid and Hyper EVM. Hyper EVM is the new chain of Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is the biggest airdrop that we've ever had in crypto, the most successful one, billions of dollars airdrop to users. They've now released their new layer 1 chain. They also have 42% of the total hype token supply reserved for community rewards. You need to understand how big this is. So you need to be doing all these different things across the whole ecosystem. Every single thing that I just showed you in this video is what you should be getting involved with. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, please leave a like rating, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and comment if you've got any questions. And I'll see you guys in the next video.